I'd love to actually have you speak a bit to how people might think, why self-compassion? Or like, why should I be nice to myself? I thought being hard on myself was a way to get myself going.
So whenever I tell people what I do, I study self-compassion, I almost always get this question: can't you be too self-compassionate? And when people ask that, what I know is happening is they're thinking of these misconceptions we have about self-compassion. They're very common. One is that being self-compassionate means just like being nice to yourself, letting yourself off the hook, not taking responsibility, or maybe, being self-indulgent. So if you break down what the word compassion means, right, it's being with suffering, it's also defined in psychology as concern with the alleviation of suffering. So it's not only that we're with it, it's also that we want to help in some way. If I have
Mhm,
compassion for you, it also means I want to help you in some way.
mhm,
So if we want to help ourselves, we aren't going to be self-indulgent. I'm not going to sit around just like, eating unhealthy foods, or maybe not going to work. Just because if I give myself pleasure, short-term pleasure at the expense of long-term harm, I'm actually not helping myself. I'm causing
mhm,
myself harm, and that's not
mhm,
self-compassionate.
mhm,
So the research shows people who are more self-compassionate, they take more responsibility for their
mhm,
well-being. They take care of their bodies.
mhm,
They're more likely to acknowledge when they've harmed someone instead of just like
mhm,
saying, "Oh, I didn't do it," because they can't handle the fact that they made a mistake. They're more
mhm,
likely to say, "Okay, I made a mistake. It's only human. How can I fix it?" So that's one myth that comes up. Another one is that it's selfish, again, because people misunderstand. They think it's self-focused. If you're like most people, actually, and you just have compassion outward and not inward,
mhm,
you can do it for a while. So it's a myth that you have to have self-compassion before you have compassion for others. Most
mhm,
people do it actually, but they burn out. Like
mhm,
if you just, all your compassion flows outward and you don't resource yourself by asking, well,
mhm,
what is it that I need to care
mhm,
for myself or to care for these difficult emotions I'm
mhm.
feeling? You're going to become drained and depleted. So the research shows it actually helps you be a good caregiver and sustain caring for others without burning out.
When you have self-compassion and you can hold your hard and dark and terrifying feelings, that
Yes,
enables you to empathize with people's hard feelings. So it
that's right.
not only refuels you and sustains you in caring for others, whether you're a parent or a partner or a caregiver or therapist, but it also forges the depths of your own empathy.
Absolutely. And actually there's a movement in psychology to say it's not compassion fatigue, it's empathy fatigue.
Mm,
So empathy is fatiguing if you don't hold your own empathic pain with
yeah.
compassion. You just become overwhelmed, you become burned out. But
Mhm,
empathy with compassion, which means it's hard for me to feel this. And also I need to take seriously what I can handle. And do I need to take a break and maybe even draw some boundaries? When you take care of yourself as well as the other person, then
mhm.
you're much less likely to be burned out.